Hello everyone, welcome to the Iced Coffee episode number 1. Today we are going to start with the story of the goddess of the fruits and the vegetable. So let's begin. There once lived a Asura named Ruhu, who belongs to the ancestry of the Hiranyaksha, a devotee of the Trinity. Ruhu performs a penance to please the Brahma. When Brahma appeared before him, he asked Ruhu, "What do you desire, my dear child?" "O God, will you bless me with the boon of always having the Trinity protects my family?" "So may it be blessed, Brahma," and vanished. Time passed, and Ruhu's son, Durgamasura, an ambitious and the intelligent Asura, grown up to be the powerful king. The guru of the Asura, Shukracharya, advised Durgamasura to pray to Brahma. Shukracharya knew about some of the foolish boons the Asura had asked for earlier, so he warned Durgamasura, "Be careful what you asked for." Durgamasura listened to his teacher carefully before he departed for his penance. He meditated for years until the Brahma appeared and asked him, "What do you want, my devotee?" Durgamasura was aware of the importance of the Vedas and the Yajnas and decided that unlike his precursors, he does not want to ask for immortality. Instead, he said, "Lord, you are the creator of the 4 Vedas. Please give their sole ownership to me." Brahma agreed and blessed Durgamasura. Once he became the owner of the Vedas, Durgamasura kept them under lock and key in Patal, the lower realm of the earth. As a result, the future generation of sages who was unable to refer to the Vedas could not perform the yajnas. Gradually, the fewer yajnas took place and the share of food usually offered to the fire to please the god through the yajnas become minimal. With the passing of some more time, the practice of the yajnas become extinct. So the god grows disconnected from human and begin losing their power over the earthly realm, becoming weaker and weaker. Durgamasura knew that the weakness of the gods would in turn enhancing his strength. He soon began troubling the citizen of the earth and the other living beings on the planet. Varuna, the lord of water, became so thin and weaker that he was unable to send rain for the people on the earth, resulting in all the water resources drying up. Famine ravaged the world. The animals began dying due to the lack of the food and the resources, and so did the men, women and the children. However, Durgamasura showed no sign of change or repentance. As a king, he still demanded all the resources for his subjects, including water, and was unbothered by the difficulty facing by his peoples. Instead, he used his opportunity to march towards the heaven, dethrone Indra, and crown himself the king of the gods. This made all the gods, including Varuna, his slaves. The gods felt helpless because of the Trinity's promise to protection to Durgamasura's father. The Brahma had no inkling that giving the Vedas to the Durgamasura would result in the end of the yajnas, which would lead to powerless gods and famished people on earth. The god and the humans alike become terrified of Durgamasura and his next move. The Brahma and the Vishnu reigned to God. Gods and human alike become terrified of Durgamasura and his next move. Brahma and Vishnu reigned to Shiva, requesting him for assistance. Shiva was calm. He said the Trinity has promised to protect Roru's family, which is why we cannot declare war against the Durgamsura. The only person who can do so is my wife Parvati, who is independent of me in thoughts and acts. Even though we have promised to protect the family, perhaps Parvati can assist. She is the great warrior who can easily defeat her enemy. Hearing the endless pleas of gods and the human alike, the Parvati came down to earth on the Loya. She was armed with 16 weapons in each of her 16 hands. The goddess observed the lost vegetation and the death of the animals and the human body because of the never-ending drought. A mother of the heart, she could not contain her sadness and the tears spilling from her eyes. The moment the tears touching the earth, they instantly turning into the full-fledged river. When Parvati realized that her tear was turning into water, she used her power to replicate 100 eyes all over her body. This gained her the name Sataksh, 1,000 eyes. Soon the earth was blessed with water, but there were no trees left to sustain life. The Parvati wonders how this problem could be solved. She knew that rainwater was the purest water of all, and that is helps to grow food quickly. So he went in search of the Durgamasura. The Asura's king became enchanting with her beauty, and the moment he saw her, without realizing who she really was, he asked, "Oh beautiful lady, what do you want from me? I am sure that I can give you whatever you are looking for. Release the Veda and allow Yagyas to resume. Let's Varuna send water to the earth. Only rain can bring crops, river can help, but rain is essential. I will agree to this, fair maiden, but I want you to marry me. Don't you know that I am the wife of Shiva and the mother of the universe? Don't you know the meaning of the love?" She continues, "You have done wrong, my child. Stop your negative action and understand that it is important for the world to have peace." Durgamasura, however, did not heard her word. He was obsessed with her beauty. He said, "It is wonderful to know that you are the Shiva's wife, but I must advise you to leave your husband, who reside in the God-forsaken places like Mount Kailasha. Become my queen and I will be your slave for life." Parvati became furious at his word, as the god watched the proceedings with interest and fear. "There is no point in trying to explain anything to you," she said. "So the only solution is that you must meet your end. Maybe that is your destiny and the purpose of your word. Come, let us fight." Durgamasura laughed loudly. The thought was absolutely absurd to him. "Oh, come on. How can a delicate woman like you fight a mighty demon like me?" Parvati refused to back down, so Durgamasura hesitantly agreed to a fight. A terrible and the furious battle ensued. Parvati, now in her angry and the fearful avatar, used all her weapons and the strategy and killed Durgamasura. Gradually, Parvati returned to her calm and peaceful self and said to the gods and the human who had come to thank her, "The form in which I fought against Durgamasura will be known as Durga. To save the world, I will give the seed to grow plants, trees and vegetable, and the Varuna will send rain to help cultivation. For this purpose, you must pray to me in the form of Shakambari with vegetables and not flowers and ornaments. I will create a beautiful garden here which will have vegetable growing in it forever. For this, I will be known as Vanashankari, or the goddess of the garden. And I must always be dressed in green. Today, the temple of the Vanashankari is in the Bagalkot district of North Karnataka and has a statue of the Parvati with the pleasant face, 16 hands and riding a lion. During Navratri, she is decorated with the garlands of lemons, chilies, eggplants, palm leaves and other green vegetable. On one of those days, she is offered only cooked vegetables, which must add up to the holy number of 108. Thank you so much for listening. Hello everyone. Welcome to the Iced Coffee episode number 1. Today we are going to start with the story of the goddess of the fruits and the vegetable. So let's begin.